coming by, stop coming by, stop coming by, stop coming by.
Hello, it's Wogawell, and we're here with another Fallout video. Let's talk about Fallout 76 Part 3, and again, we were hoping it was going to be a good one. It's fucking not. So I'm here with Hab, and...
I like how you were like last time, like, oh, I hope the next one gonna be as bad.
Yeah,
Nope, they fucked up
pretty
so
much.
much again, we need to do it again.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be a weekly thing.
Now it is. I mean, it was going to be like, I was hoping to be a 3-parter, but it's now looking like a 6 or 7-parter. Because when the game actually comes out, we're going to need to talk about it some more. But they just dropped
it's like let's talk about the fucking Steven or whatever this fucking movie was
we need
about,
to
the
talk
kid
about,
who
yeah.
shoot the school. That's exactly what we're doing now. To kill
Basically. So it's gone from being an exciting prospect to being a difficult one to being a difficult one to kind of comprehend and going forward. But obviously they released a 30-minute gameplay video. For those of you that missed it, you need to go watch that shit and get a kind of feel for what's coming up really next.
I think you should state watch that shit as an exact statement.
Yeah, basically.
Because
so,
it looks shit.
Yeah. We watched through it. I watched through it once or twice in depth. And there's a few sort of glaring issues. I think for me it didn't bring up any feelings of excitement or sort of happiness or whatever. I mean, when the game's released, it's going to be a different story because I get to play it. But it's difficult because there was just so many things in the video that I think they really didn't highlight like a good gameplay video. So if it was Bethesda releasing it, it's quite bad on their part. I'm not sure who it was or if it was just a play tester of some sort. But we got a good look at
the press, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. We got a good look at combat. We got a good look at how the inventory is going to work, experience, leveling, and there was a few clear glaring problems and bugs throughout the video that we're going to bring up. Yeah. So firstly, I think it starts off with, you know, the player going towards the Overseer's camp or trying to find the Overseer's camp. That's been the big story. And for those of you that watch the video now know that the big secret is you get there and, ooh, spoilers, the Overseer's not there, and then they tell you to go somewhere else or build your camp or some stupid shit. So basically the player in the video runs along with 3 other players, so they have a party of 4, all level 2 at the start, and they run into some Scorchers, and they shoot them with their little pipe pistols. And it seems like, you know...
No, listen. It wasn't even pipe pistols, like a normal pistols, but they got like 10 ammo each. Yeah,
basically. So they had crappy weapons, we'll say. But these were the first enemies, and they were level 1 on record. So when they were shooting them, you could see that obviously in classic Fallouts, the damage is kind of respective to your level and their level and the damage of your weapons. But you feel like, you know, oh, I'm doing damage to this guy, headshots, blah, 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 and they die. But in this, it was like 7 or 8 shots, maybe even more, to kill, you know, the first enemy you meet in the game, or what I would imagine is the first enemy you meet in the game. And especially, you know, along with 4 other players, it's a bit strange because it turns into, you know.
To be fair, if they do headshot, it did like 3-4 of HP bar.
Yeah.
But eventually, if they did, it's really hard to tell if they missed or not because the aim was so terrible.
Yeah.
It was painful to see. But the thing is, usually there was like 3 to 4 shots before enemy died, but the issue was they have so little ammo and the chances of ammo dropping was like, seems to be 50-50.
Yeah.
So if you fuck up all the ammo, you end up in the melee character, and if you don't have a build for it in the long-term game, I will assume you're fucked.
Yeah, basically. And it was like you're running along with these other players, and the combat was a bit frantic, to be honest. It felt like we were looking at a first-person view of World of Warcraft, and I know it's semi-MMO, but it should feel like co-op Fallout. It shouldn't feel like an MMO. And it looked like, from my perspective, that it was like Hab said, you need to be melee if you run out of ammo, or, you know, you need to hope that you get good luck, or something along those lines. Maybe when you play the game that we'll be better because we're all kind of hardened first-person shooters. I think the press or whoever played was a bit shit, which did it no justice. Yeah, but at the same time, I think at the start of all Fallout games, you run into your, what is it, the rad roaches, and they get killed in like 1 hit, and you start to feel like, oh yeah, I'm quite powerful. And then as the game goes on till you're like level 20, 30, the enemies start to turn a bit more spongy. which is fine because combat gets a bit drawn out then. But I think early stages you can't have the drawn out fights because it feels like a time sponge, like fucking Warframe.
Oh yeah, fucking Valhazak.
So yeah, I think I hope
Warframe Valhazak, totally.
I really hope that, because to me the reward for leveling up and advancing in Fallout is the ability to create stronger and better weapons. And if all you're doing is building weapons that can keep up with the damage of your enemies, as opposed to I'm going to build this amazing rifle that's going to kill everything in one hit, it's going to be I'm going to build this amazing rifle so I can actually kill this thing, as opposed to using a crappy pistol to get killed by the thing, So I think combat's a bit disappointing from what I've seen so far. Obviously,
It's just a Fallout combat.
no, it's worse.
Fallout
It's
I mean,
worse.
it's already it's poor as it was, but now you just shoot and you don't know what you're shooting.
Yeah, and I think with if you saw, there was a bit brief visibility of VATS a few times, you could see.
Oh god.
Yeah, so VATS was introduced. You can clearly see that it doesn't slow time at all. It may slow it a small bit, but from what I saw, it doesn't slow it at all.
No, it doesn't. At all.
And it's based on the enemy's current position. So obviously
What's the
VATS
point
is
of
based on exactly, VATS is based on distance, and in older Fallout games you could use VATS to get a one-up on your opponent from a long distance or from a tactical position. In this, it just seems like VATS is a auto shot, like target the enemy, hit VATS 4 times, and it's an auto shot 4 times. Instead of you shooting the enemy, you'll shoot it 4 times with a 45% chance of hitting. So if you're uncomfortable with the actual aiming system in the game, you'll use VATS. But other than that, it seems like it's kind of pointless or redundant.
So it's shitty version of auto aim.
Basically, yeah, it's a aimbot
No, it is.
with a percentage linked to it. So that, to be honest, combat's a bit sketchy for me. I'm hoping it'll be a bit better in the release, but obviously it's coming close to crunch time now, and they're playing a pretty much finished product. So it's disappointing. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say on that, or are you just gonna say it's shit?
No, I was gonna say that I want to get the pizza.
You're gonna get a pizza, right? Well, you go get your
Yeah, I'll be
pizza.
back. Yeah, you can. I mean,
and I'll
what I'm gonna
discuss.
say is that it's pointless. The entire combat look pointlessly grindy. It's like Elder Scroll Online, the fucking
Yeah, MMO. It's
where
an
you just,
MMO.
you just beat the shit out of them and you don't feel like you're doing anything. And I can fucking bet to you, you're gonna be scaling with you. That
Yes.
is the bullshit.
Yes.
You
Well,
fucking
they
die.
did.
This game is
They did
dead.
mention
this
that.
Game is dead then.
That the enemies don't
Oh,
actually
that's
scale
last
with
time.
you. The enemies
Okay,
don't
so they
scale with
don't.
you. So what
Oh, that's
happens
good,
is the enemies they scale if you go into an area. So if you're level 10 and I'm level 1, yeah, and you're like, oh, let's go to this area. If you enter the
So it's
area
basically-
first,
World of Warcraft, yeah.
the area would
Gonna
be
get
level
pizza.
10. So, and if I enter the area first, then the area will be level 1. So it'll be based on tactical sort of movements such as that. So yeah, as the the beta video went on, we saw a section where the player went and sort of went to the workbench, which we'll get to later on about how that was accessed. But the player went to a workbench and tried to build some weapons or do some shit. I think the quest was to build an armor and some weapons, or an weapon and multiple armors. And you could see that you have basically the same scrap mechanic as before. But one of the glaring things in this was it brings it back to New Vegas style, where each weapon has a specific condition. So weapons have health based on usage, and weapons have... It seems like the player was creating multiple of the same weapon just so it would have multiple copies in case one broke. If it's going to be like other Fallouts and we get to keep the weapon at 0 condition, apart from, you need to find replacements for it. Or if the weapon actually breaks and it's gone at 0 condition, we don't know, because we
Oh,
didn't get to see any of that, which is a bit of a scary thought, because if you spend all your resources to build up a weapon and then it breaks completely and it's gone without, any sort of warning or preemptive repair, then that's going to cause problems for many players, because it just turns
No,
into
you cannot
repair
use
your
the
weapon.
weapon below specific point.
Yeah,
Have
but
you seen the cutscene?
will it break?
No, the cutscene, yeah. I don't think so. You just can't use it anymore. You will just
Okay,
make
but you can
unable to
repair
use
it.
Well, I assume so, because otherwise, if you don't, that'd be the game is dead already.
Yeah,
You can't repair the thing.
but it's one of those
But
things
you saw
where
that when they were picking up sniper rifles or shotguns and so on, and they couldn't actually equip it.
okay,
because they
I
so
missed
destroyed
that.
it.
Right.
Maybe we're watching different things because there was apparently 2 or 3 videos, and it seems
Okay.
to be a bit different.
No, from what I saw, all the weapons
But
had full conditions, so I don't know.
no. They were doing like a dungeon, and they were like killing the boss, which have like a crown on it. They killed the boss, and the player checked it, and it was like a gray instead of a white loot.
Okay.
So he picked it up, and he just couldn't equip it. He was trying to equip it, but he couldn't, and the condition was like on really tiny bar on the on the whatever it's called. It's something like CBU, wasn't it?
Yeah. CND, yeah.
Yeah. So he was like fucking barely anything on it, so he couldn't use it. And I was like, so what is like? You cannot use it at all. What's the fucking point of it? What if you
Yeah,
have, like,
I
a
would
good
imagine
build,
you
but
can
can't repair
repair.
it?
Or the thing
But
is,
how?
it's either that or you scrap it and rebuild it. I don't know. I'm
If it's
hoping
fucking
not,
scrapping.
because at the end of the day, I think for this kind of thing, going forward, it's just a bit strange because it leads me on to the next point. When they were building the base in one of the, I don't know if it's the same video you saw, but they were building a base. They managed to take over this base. They did say in the trailer or in the discussions that we would be able to build a base literally wherever there was space. In this video that we saw, the players go and retake a camp from a bunch of bad guys or scorchers or whatever, and they actually go to the workbench and start building there at that base, which is a bit strange for me because that means that do we have to go and capture these workbenches around the place to build anywhere, or can we literally build anywhere as promised? It did lead me to question, are they going to start limiting the places that we can build in, or is this sort of particular...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They may, which is not the end all be all, but they did promise otherwise, which is a shame. But in this video, the player was kind of inclined to build on this, what seemed like a workshop or a workplace, and it introduced what we saw was factories, and the factories said that every 8 hours, I think it was, or every 24 hours, it gives you plus 33 of a particular resource, be it stone or metal or whatever it was. And you build these factories on these blocks. Now, I don't understand how this is going to work, because according to Bethesda, when you log out, your camp goes with you, and then it returns when you rejoin.
What?
Yeah, so when you log out, your camp disappears from that server.
Question: how does it work if you're in a team?
So if you're in a team, your camp goes according to Bethesda, unless you have a shared camp. I don't know, but according to Bethesda,
How
as
do
soon as
have a
you log
shared
out.
camp?
So if I'm your friend and I'm in your group or whatever, I guess that our camp is sort of together. But as soon as all of us,
get destroyed.
if yours get destroyed, you get to rebuild
So
it
to be
from the
honest-
blueprint of your first. So if you build your camp and you press save on the camp.
No, I
It-
get that much. What I'm questioning is if I got you and me got the same fucking camp, and
Yeah.
someone destroy my camp, will it affect your camp, or will your camp be fine? And
I
just not
really have no
thrashed?
idea. It's not very clear, and the only thing that it kind of led to more questions in that video, because there was things that were going to be active over time, like the 8 hours for the factory. So that means your camp is going to be active, because for the 8 hours to be a thing, it needs to be threatened for 8 hours. So that means when you log out, you could lose that factory. So I don't know, it leads me to believe two things: that we can build our personal camps anywhere, but these factories that you take over are going to be,
They won't.
they won't be, you can take them over and then people can attack them whenever they please. So if you log out, log in, that camp is still going to be there, built by you,
What the
producing resources that someone can destroy. But that's speculation. I don't know if we get to save those camps in the background or whatever.
Have you seen the generator bit when they were trying to clean the generator and trying to use it? It was like, oh, you need to repair
No.
generator to get more power. No, he didn't. Yeah, because he seems to have a few videos. But yeah, they were trying to repair the generator, and the thing was like, I couldn't watch any more video because the guy aim was so fucking shit. Like,
Okay.
instead of, changing camera, he fucking moved his character.
Right.
Instead of like rotating to shoot
Oh,
the
so he
enemy.
was just a fucking moron then.
Oh, he was total moron. Like, I don't understand how can you fucking not learn to aim with a fucking gun instead of fucking moving the, the fucking aim button. He decided to move himself, and I was like, I cannot watch this anymore. So I just.
But that's the thing, they get the press involved, and it's like, it's so stupid because they don't have a fucking clue. You know, it really
They
doesn't
never
give the
play
game
the
any
games, you
justice.
feel.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's one of the things that I actually, if these factories and stuff are separate bases that are always there, that'll make me a bit more happy about the situation. That if you can build your camp independently and have that up in the hills somewhere, and then down below is a factory that you've been defending for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and there's enemies attacking you constantly, and it's live battles all the time, as opposed to my camp only being available when I'm online, then that's a different story. So I think going forward, that's a positive I can take back from that, the factories. One thing I don't like is the 8-hour wait, because then it becomes like fucking Farmville, doesn't it? You know, that when you're not playing, you get
Oh, you want to
rewarded.
play?
You know, wait 8 hours. Do you want to rush this? You use some caps to rush this. You know, it's fucking stupid.
Ah, please don't make a joke about it, because you know it's
Yeah.
coming.
And the last point I'm going to make on the inventory is that obviously Bethesda have announced that if there's items in the world lying around, that if a player grabs them, it's gone, but it'll respawn over time. Items in containers are randomly generated per player, so you could go run over to a chest and then grab something, and I could grab something, and then you could grab a different item. Items on enemies, if I get to that enemy before you do and take all of his shit, you don't get
You
anything.
don't get anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
can we talk about it for a second?
yeah, sure.
What
yeah,
about
yeah.
they're gonna be dungeons?
Yeah,
And they're gonna
exactly.
be with randoms. So basically
Randos,
someone will
yep.
fucking come until you kill their boss, and they will fucking just steal your shit.
Yes, people will run along and steal it, and apparently they've nothing in place to stop that in terms of
Okay,
like.
stop. How the fuck you could design the game? You managed to think about random fucking boxes. You think about random fucking loot overall, but you fucking don't figure out someone will come over and steal the shit because you do the dungeon.
Yep.
Someone will fucking camp that dungeon. They will fucking sit there, just into your spite. So whenever you kill the enemy, they will just be fucking standing there and take it all.
Yeah,
And
I
what the
agree.
fuck you gonna get back for it? No ammo, no caps, nothing.
I agree.
Fucking what?
I agree, and to that point, I mean, that's one of the things I'm concerned about, is that people are just going to try and loot steal everything, and there's no
They will.
punishment in place.
It's not a
That's the thing.
question.
But as well as that, it's like it seems already that caps are hard to come by. From what I saw, they completed a quest early on in the game, and it rewarded them with 20 caps, and it's like
The
for 20. I think caps to me in the game are going to be either a very important resource or not an important resource at all, because there's no trading with NPCs in terms of.
why not both?
It'll be mostly, yeah, I know, it'll be mostly trading with other players for caps, I guess. Is the thing. So I think when that happens, caps either are going to be very important or very shit. So we'll see about that. And that brings you on to, you know, experience and leveling. With what we saw in the videos, enemies that were getting killed, you know, same as the caps. Experience seems very, very grindy. Even when they were completing quests, they were getting, I think it was 200 experience. And each enemy was giving them like 5 or 10 experience. And from the entire video, I think 26 minutes, 20 minutes, I can't be exact. I'm not going to be exact, so don't pull me up on it. They had stayed at level 2 for those entire 20 minutes. Which either it's going to be balanced on the full game release, they were trying to hold back on the higher level rewards, or that's what it's going to be, and that's going to be so painful. So painful. We did see in the video a level 60 character, and he came down when the factory was built. But we know 60 isn't the max. You can keep leveling up, you just don't get points. We don't know if, well, 60 may be the max, but we saw a level 60 character. But it just seems extremely grindy, which to me, games do it to make you want to play them more, play them longer, keeps the longevity of the game up. But at the same time, if I'm playing it like World of Warcraft and I have to kill like 7 million fucking boars to level up to level 2, then that's a problem. South Park reference. No, but it's shit. It needs to be balanced. If they have to put 500 levels in the game, do it and level us up every 5 seconds. You know, I'm level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and then you feel like you're making progress. But if I'm gonna have to kill literally 100 enemies to get, you know, 500 XP, and I need 1,000, then I'm gonna be like, oh shit, what do I do now? You know. And as well, I saw when you were in combat, just to go back to the combat point, if you don't get a shot off on the enemy, even if you're in range, you don't get experience. You have to have some sort of damage to the enemy in order to get experience, even if you're in a party. Which
What?
it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy. From what I saw, it's crazy. You know,
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, if you're in a party.
Oh wait.
What if you're the
Oh,
healer?
wait.
and we've seen that there are perks in the game that allow you to be the healer. What if you
Oh, yeah,
have
there
one
was
guy in your
something.
group that you give all the med kits to and they heal the team and they're not in combat because if they die your team dies, they're not going to get any experience. They're going to get rewards and items,
What? You're
sure,
gonna
but
get
not.
raped.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Who? It's already hard to find any healer in any game, and
Yeah,
they even make it harder in here.
yeah,
You know, I
basically.
wish them best luck. I
I
just wish
know.
them best luck because
I
they
mean,
just look trash.
beta day is coming around very fast, and obviously, it's gonna be a weird one when it's released. We'll have some game time on that. We'll have some findings as well.
Say
But
for
before,
yourself, I have no
yeah,
fucking time for that.
yeah. Before we go though, we're gonna discuss a few of the bugs and problems that we saw popping up. One of the main ones being,
Please await
there was
120
many.
videos.
Yeah, there was many. We're gonna have to go through a number of videos on the problems that we saw. Obviously, with the technical problems that we discussed have already been discussed. But we're talking like real issues that are sort of I would class as bugs or connection issues which we saw. Um,
Can we
but
really stay the entire game is a connection issue?
yeah, uh, but as I said, one of the first quests you do is you have to find the overseer's camp, and when you get there, there's in the video, there's like 25 other players or 20 or other players that are standing there camping all of the workbenches. So if I'm completing the quest, which the quest says, like I said, create a piece of armor, create a weapon, and the player tried to do it, tried to go over to the workbench and tried to press X on the workbench or whatever console he was on, and it didn't let him because it was said the workbench was in use, and there was two workbenches there, and there was 25 players pissing about, running around the place. Now, what happens in the real game if there's a full server and everyone's pissing about in the workbenches, and I just simply cannot advance the story because people are on those workbenches? What then? Why can't I use it if someone else is using it? Just suspend reality for a second and allow me to use the workbench along with someone else. That's fucking stupid. And you saw in the
The,
video for about 6 minutes the guy was just like looking at the workbench waiting for it to become free. So
on
it,
mine, they were having issue with a fucking server. They constantly click on the bench, but there was a server issue, so they couldn't
right,
be connected. And they just keep clicking it, and there, was no issue. There was going server issue, and he was standing for like 2 minutes, fucking
yeah,
pressing X, hoping for the fucking thing to work. And I was like, what the fuck?
yeah,
First he
uh,
was busy, then he was fucking this, and I was like, okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
And I mean, obviously with the server
Yes.
connection, yeah. So when the guy went to the factory on the video I saw, um, he tried to click on the workbench, and nothing
Mm-hmm.
happened. And he tried
Oh
clicking the
yeah,
workbench
yeah.
again, and nothing happened. And then the third time he pressed it, it said, "Please wait for server to respond" or something along those lines. That
Mm-hmm.
made me chuckle because it was like,
That's Bethesda so
it's a
much.
fucking beta, and there can't be that many people on it. The connection, obviously, it's going to be a new game. They don't know what's going on.
They
It
say
does
it
not
was 20
excuse connection
people.
issues. Yeah, it doesn't exactly 20
The,
people.
you,
How fucking you have
no, they
connection issues?
stated.
How the fuck can you have connection issues? Really?
Should we
Like,
talk how this game look actually? Because it looked
ah,
fucking last gen.
yeah. Let's talk about how it looks. It doesn't fucking look like a Fallout game. It really doesn't,
I
and
mean,
you know.
I like how they changed ghouls to scorch ones. I mean,
Yeah,
oh
there's still
my.
ghouls though. There is still ghouls.
I know, they still have a ghouls animation. They still behave
And
like a ghoul.
scorched are humans. They have guns.
Well, I mean, ghouls aren't humans.
Yeah, but the scorched are
You
have
got the
actually have
point.
guns. Yeah, I know what you mean. But the
I know, but
scorched are the new bandits.
listen, please tell me how someone who's radiated and the skin is falling off will hold in a gun and aim with it properly without
Yeah,
screaming in pain.
yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I'm more
At least there is
skeptical than I
some
was
greenery.
before. Yeah, yeah, that was nice for a
Just now.
change. But I think it does take from the real sort of Fallout-esque world that we're used to,
But
unfortunately.
dude, it's just fucking always look the same. It's a fucking either desert or wasteland.
Yeah, pretty
The
much.
fucking, it's just. I can't believe after 200 years there'll be no greenery at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, well.
In fact, there would be more, wouldn't there? Really. But
Well, yeah, obviously.
I think that's one for the next video, Hab. We've got plenty more to talk about, of course.
Oh,
And there'll be plenty more released going forward. So I think we'll cut it off here. But if you've any thoughts in the comment, you know, leave it in the comment section below, which no one seems to have, which is nice. You just watch the video and then you
No
fucking
one watched
you
videos.
piss off and you give me dislikes and then you leave. That's perfectly fine as well. But it'd be nice if you had some
Okay, don't
input
do
for a
this.
change. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Unless you have anything else to add, we'll end it there, my friend.
Whoa,
No?
who's your friend?
Oh, fuck you. Nice. Anyway, Skeptical about Fallout. We'll keep you posted on anything else that comes up 3 or 4 days
Wait,
later than
before you
everyone else.
end. Did you notice the first time when there was no interruption between Hello Wogawell?
I know, if it was for the first time ever.
It's
Congratulations.
because we're so concerned by this.
Yeah, exactly. We actually took the intro seriously, which is, it's nuts.
Well,
But
yeah, you
yeah.
didn't call them dickheads.
Anyway, thank you, Hab, for taking the time to do this video. And I'll see you
Yay.
fuckers in the next one.